Good afternoon, I'm Paolo Del Rosario, sitting in for Mai Rodriguez. This is Newsfeed at noon on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel, where we give you a rundown of today's biggest stories. Alice Guo falls. The dismissed Philippine town mayor was arrested early this morning in Indonesia. Wanted in Manila for her pogo ties, Guo was captured in Tangerang City in Banten, a province on the western border of Jakarta. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission says Indonesian police will turn Guo over to the NBI and the Bureau of Immigration. BI officials are already coordinating with their Indonesian counterparts for Guo's return to the Philippines at the soonest possible time. Here now is President Bongbong Marcos' statement on the arrest of Alice Guo.
Mga minamahal kong kababayan, on or about 1 o'clock a.m. 4 September, Alice Guo, also known as Guo Huaping, was arrested in Tangerang City, Jakarta, Indonesia. I congratulate all law enforcement personnel who made this apprehension possible. The public may not know the intricate details of this mission that you have successfully accomplished, but on their behalf, accept my thanks. The Philippines also thanks the Indonesian government for their assistance on this matter. The close cooperation between our two governments has made this arrest possible. Let this serve as a warning to those who attempt to evade justice. Such is an exercise in futility. The arm of the law is long, and it will reach you. This government continues in its duty to apply the rule of law. Ms. Guo shall be entitled to all legal protections due her under the laws of the land and pursuant to our commitment to the rule of law. But we will not allow this to prolong the resolution of the case, whose outcome will be a victory for the Filipino people. Thank you and good day.
Our reporter Francis Falve now joins us on the scene from the NBI. Francis, what is the NBI saying about Alice Guo's arrest?
Paolo, the NBI says Alice Guo would go through lengths to try and avoid capture. NBI Director Jaime Santiago in a press conference said Guo even had her hair cut to try and look different.
Para maitago ang kanyang identity, meron nang lumabas, nakita na yung na-share ang Indonesian police na talagang maiksi na ang buhok niya, nagpaputol ng buhok to conceal her identity.
Guo was arrested in Indonesia between midnight and early morning today in Tangerang City in Jakarta, according to information from the Indonesian police. This was corroborated by Philippine immigration counterparts who confirmed that she is currently in the custody of the Indonesian police at Jatanras Mobes Patri. Meanwhile, PAOK spokesperson Winston Caso said that they were elated by the news of Guo's arrest. He wants Guo to tell how she managed to slip out of the country. He adds Guo may still invoke her right against self-incrimination but do have enough evidence to pin her to multiple crimes. He also said that this may mean the end of Guo's story but not the Pogos. Meanwhile, Bureau of Immigration Commissioner Norman Tansinko says they immediately forwarded the information of Guo's arrest to the Department of Justice. The BI is anticipating Guo's return to the Philippines soon and believes that this will shed light to many questions about her illegal departure as well as allow her to face numerous cases being filed against. Secretary Boyeng Rimulya of Justice Department expressed his satisfaction with the outcome of the efforts of our law enforcement and the strength of international cooperation in bringing fugitive to justice. He adds the department will ensure that all legal processes are followed to hold her accountable for any crimes committed. The BI, DOJ, and NBI will continue to coordinate closely with Indonesian authorities to facilitate the necessary legal procedures for Guo's return to the country, and the soonest could be tomorrow. Paolo?
Thank you very much. That was Francis Falve reporting from Manila. With the search for Alice Guo finally over, she's expected to face intense grilling once she's presented to the Senate and House investigators. As Eugene Adalia reports, there are many questions that need to be answered.
Dismissed Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Go, also known as Go Waping, was unknown to most in the country until months ago, when a raid on a pogo hub in her municipality in March exposed what is now one of the biggest controversies in the country. As the pogo mess unfolded, Go found herself in the middle of congressional investigations on criminal activities linked to the pogo industry. In May, she told senators she was born in a house, not in a hospital, her birth certificate registered only when she was 17, and was homeschooled. But one senator says there were damning pieces of evidence Go could only be involved in the pogo operation in Bamban. Go would later skip several hearings, so an arrest order was issued against her. On May 24, the DILG filed graft charges against Go over her alleged pogo ties. She was suspended in June by the Office of the Ombudsman because of the DILG case. Go faces a slew of legal problems, from election offenses to a human trafficking complaint. Go ran for mayor in 2022 as an independent, winning in her first foray into politics. From a girl who grew up on a farm, to a small-town mayor, to a fugitive. Go supposedly left the country for Malaysia in July using her Philippine passport. Hounded by the pogo issue, she was dismissed by the Ombudsman in August. Later that month, her associate Cassandra Ong and Sheila Guo, then reported as Alice's sister, were arrested in Indonesia and flown back home. Sheila Guo, also known as Chinese national Zhang Mir, confirmed in a Senate inquiry that she, Alice Guo, and Wesley Guo fled the country by boat. From Sabah, Malaysia, they traveled to Singapore and Indonesia. Sheila also admitted she is not actually related to the former mayor. A pogo mastermind? A Chinese spy? Who is Alice Guo? And is she just the tip of the iceberg in this pogo fiasco? Eugene Adalia, BNC.
Senators are eager to question Alice Guo following her arrest in Indonesia. Our reporter Agatha Gregorio is on the scene at the Senate. Agatha?
Lawmakers are still confirming when Alice Guo could be brought back to the Philippines. But Senator Risa Ontiveros says that once Guo arrives in the country, the National Bureau of Investigation and the Immigration Bureau will just finish processing her, and then they will turn her over to the Senate, where she will be detained. Guo has an arrest order from the Senate for contempt after absences from hearings on Philippine offshore gaming operations. Ontiveros also talked about the ongoing search for another one of Guo's alleged cohorts, Wesley Guo.
In action pa, pero buo yung confidence ko na patuloy din siyang pinaghahanap, tulad ng patuloy na paghahanap kay Alice Guo pagkatapos maaresto sina Sheila Guo at Cassandra Leong. But definitely, hindi na natin pauulitin na tumakas siya at may mga magkulang o worse, makipagsabwatan para patakasin siyang ulit.
Ontiveros adds they are targeting for Guo to appear at a Senate hearing tomorrow on her departure from the country. They plan to wrap this up after 2 or 3 more hearings. Meanwhile, Senate President Cheese Escudero and Win Gatchalian thank Indonesian law enforcement authorities for their cooperation. Later at 1 p.m., a Senate committee will be tackling the president's directive to ban pogos, to be presided by Senator Mark Villar. Back to you, Paolo.
Thank you so much. That was Agatha Gregorio reporting from Pasay City. Like the Senate, the House Quad Committee also wants its hands on Alice Guo as soon as she's turned over to Philippine authorities. Our reporter Hannah T is on the scene at the Batasang Pambansa for an update. Hannah?
You can run, but you cannot hide. That is Representative Ace Barbas's reaction to Alice Guo's arrest. Guo, a former mayor in various controversies, is set to be summoned by the Quad Committee to shed light on her sudden acquisition of Filipino citizenship, the assistance she received, and how she managed to run for public office in the country. This comes after her appearance at the Senate. Guo is also a controversial figure linked to illegal activities of pogos. The Quad Committee is keen on uncovering more details about her involvement, as well as Cassandra Leong, a representative of pogo firm Lucky South 99. Ong is still under detention here at the House of Representatives. Ong shown reluctance to fully cooperate with the investigation. She refuses to name the financiers behind the illegal pogo operations and even declined an offer for a private session, according to House Committee on Public Order and Safety Chairman Dan Fernandez. Ong had initially agreed to sign a waiver to allow access to her financial records, but later withdrew as it might be used against her in a money laundering case. Fernandez pointed out that Ong owns a majority stake in Whirlwind Corporation, a company that leased land to Lucky South 99 and works closely with its director, suggesting she has deeper knowledge of the illegal activities surrounding pogos. Currently, Ong is not present at the hearing and the Quad Committee investigation continues. Paolo.
Thank you so much. That was Hanati reporting from Quezon City. Police expect to end soon their operation to arrest Pastor Apollo Kiboy at the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City. Davao Region Police Chief Nicolas Torres says they have already pinpointed Kiboy's exact location and his arrest is imminent. Today is the 12th day of the operation to arrest a religious leader who's wanted for sexual assault and human trafficking. Coming up, more than 70 million pesos earmarked for Enteng relief operations. We'll also have the latest on the severe tropical storm from Pag-asa. Stay with us here on Newsfeed. Welcome back. You're watching Newsfeed on BNC. The death toll due to severe tropical storm Enteng and the enhanced southwest monsoon in Antipolo City has risen to 8. 2 people are still missing, while over 2,000 remain in evacuation centers. Local disaster officials tell BNC's At the Forefront they had already ordered villages over the weekend to evacuate residents in danger areas. They are also urging informal settlers in landslide-prone areas to finally relocate.
We're actually constantly reviewing naman po and coordinating with these agencies. So we can, we have this inventory of informal settler families, not just in landslide-prone areas, but also those inside or those along the waterways, no? Because we are continuously giving them proper relocation.
The Social Welfare Department ensures enough assistance for residents affected by Enteng. On BNC's At the Forefront, the DSWD said it has more than 70 million pesos worth of standby funds for relief operations.
Assistance to individuals in crisis situation is the additional intervention being provided by the DSWD, together, of course, with the family food packs and non-food items. Under the AICS, we could provide medical assistance for those who have been hurt. In addition to that, we could also provide burial assistance to families whose member might have perished as a result of the damages caused by Typhoon Enteng.
Severe tropical storm Enteng already out of the Philippine area of our responsibility, but still enhancing the southwest monsoon or Habagat. Pag-asa weather specialist Veronica Torres is on the line for the latest on Enteng. Veronica?
Hi, good afternoon to you and to all of our audience.
Maraming salamat, Veronica, for taking our call. How long do we expect the monsoon rains to last?
Okay, so we're expecting for today until tomorrow over Metro Manila for occasional rains caused by southwest monsoon enhanced by Enteng. However, by Friday, we're still expecting scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over Metro Manila, but not as severe as it was last Monday. And then by weekend, better weather conditions is expected over most of the countries, but for Ilocos region, even over the weekend, it can still be rainy due to southwest monsoon.
Are we tracking any more weather disturbances at the moment, Veronica?
Aside from Enteng, we're not monitoring any low pressure area or tropical cyclone near inside the Philippine area of responsibility. However, we have a specific product called Tropical Cyclone Threat Potential, where there are tropical cyclone like vortices. So for now, there are no, as mentioned, there are no low pressure areas inside, but since our tropical cyclone threat potential shows that there's a likelihood of a tropical cyclone-like vortex forming over the next few days or for within 2 weeks. So we're still monitoring everything, our maps, our satellite images, even the radar.
We're seeing some of those images right now, Veronica. At the moment, I'm sure a lot of people are already wondering and worrying. How many tropical cyclones can we expect for the rest of 2024?
All right, so for the rest of 2024, so for actually for September, we're expecting around 2 or 3 tropical cyclones that may enter or form within the Philippine area of responsibility. So we already had one, so 1 or 2 may be entering or be forming inside the Philippine area of responsibility. And also for the rest of the year, we will be maybe as low as maybe 6 is expected, and around 10 can still be expected within the year.
Thank you so much for that, Veronica. Maraming salamat for taking our call.
Salamat din po. Bye-bye.
That's Pag-asa Weather Specialist Veronica Torres. In news overseas, former U.S. President Donald Trump is entering a not guilty plea to charges in a revised indictment accusing him of attempting to overturn his 2020 election defeat. He also waived the right to be present at his arraignment. The revised indictment includes the same 4 charges brought against Trump last year, accusing him of trying to defraud the U.S., obstructing congressional certification of the election, and depriving Americans of their right to a fair vote. But it dropped and reframed certain allegations after the U.S. Supreme Court ruled Trump has broad immunity for actions he took as president. Aside from legal woes, the Trump campaign is also facing pushback from more artists. A federal judge orders his campaign to stop playing music created by Isaac Hayes. The ruling comes nearly a month after the family of the late music icon threatened to sue Trump for using a track co-written by Hayes. A growing number of artists and their representatives have objected to their music being played at Trump events over the years, from Beyonce, Adele, to ABBA.
My father was a father to 7 daughters. I have 7 sisters. Donald Trump has been found liable of sexual abuse. I know my father would not want that man playing his music. Man's been found liable of sexual abuse and some of the things that he says about women, especially black women and women of color, especially in this election. And so we have to take a stand that we want to separate ourselves from someone with Donald Trump's character. This is not a political issue. This is a character issue.
Turning now to the Israel-Hamas war. The U.S. announced its charges against Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar and 5 other senior members of the militant group. They were charged for planning and carrying out years of terrorist attacks in Israel, including the October 7 massacre that triggered the 11-month war in Gaza. The complaint named 6 defendants, 3 of whom are already deceased, including former Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, who was killed in Tehran back in July. A former aide to New York Governor Hochul charged with secretly acting as an agent of the Chinese government. Prosecutors say Linda Sun blocked representatives of the Taiwanese government from meeting with officials while working in state government. In exchange, the Chinese government allegedly arranged for millions of dollars in transactions. Sun's husband, who has businesses in China, the couple allegedly used the money to buy properties in New York and Honolulu. Sun became Hochul's deputy chief of staff in September 2021, but was fired last year after discovering evidence of misconduct. The New York governor was not accused of any wrongdoing. After the break, the country's outstanding debt hits a fresh record high in the first 7 months of the year. Details when Newsfeed returns. And we're back. This is Newsfeed on BNC. The national debt hits a fresh record high in the first 7 months of the year. The nation's debt levels increased by more than 1% from June to 15.69 trillion pesos on the back of higher domestic and external borrowings. This already accounts for 97.71% of the over 16 trillion peso total debt projections for 2024. On a year-on-year basis, the country's outstanding debt is up by over 10%. More than half, or about 69%, came from domestic sources, while the rest, or 31%, came from foreign sources. Billionaire Ramon Ang prevails in his legal battle against the Energy Regulatory Commission. The Supreme Court has allowed Ang San Miguel Corporation to terminate its power supply contract with Meralco after rejecting the energy regulator's motion for reconsideration with finality. In denying the ERC's motion, the High Court found, quote, no substantial argument to warrant a modification, end of quote, of the resolution. This follows a 2023 Court of Appeals ruling, which reversed a 2022 ERC decision, denying a rate hike petition filed by San Miguel's power subsidiaries and power distributor Meralco. San Miguel sought a temporary increase in the contract price under the agreement with Meralco to recover incremental fuel costs amid an unprecedented spike in oil prices. Over in South America, tensions escalate between Brazil and one of the world's richest men, entrepreneur and investor Elon Musk. The billionaire satellite broadband company Starlink Backtracks and will now comply with Brazil's order to block access to social media platform X. That's despite what it claims is the illegal treatment of Starlink after Brazil's top court froze its assets. The country's telecoms regulator also threatened to sanction Starlink after the company initially refused the court order for all internet providers to block domestic access to X. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva is backing that order, saying it's a sign the world is not obliged to put up with Musk's far-right ideologies. Meanwhile, Musk decries the move as censorship. Brazilian officials investigated X amid the alleged spread of hate and misinformation on the social media platform. Back here at home, gasoline stations will soon be required to install electric vehicle charging stations. The Energy Department says they plan to release draft guidelines for the policy by the end of the year, while implementation is expected in 2025. The DOE adds they hope to boost the EV industry in the country by making charging facilities more accessible. The rules will also be based on Republic Act 11697 or the Electric Vehicle Industry and Development Act. Under the EVIDA, gasoline station owners will now be required to install and operate charging stations for commercial use. And before we go, take a look at this workshop in Taiwan that has come up with a trendy way to give trash a new lease on life. MiniWiz is making use of plastic items like bottle caps and food packaging by turning them into sunglasses. Some of the waste are also made into tiles and hangers. Customers were even given hands-on experience in the recycling process, which involves melting and molding the trash.
What we're trying to show in the trash kitchen is to let you see, feel, and touch within minutes how this process can actually work without secondary pollution, and you can actually turn something of value directly in front of you, rather than going through this infrastructure and never really happen.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Paolo Del Rosario, sitting in for Mai Rodriguez. Stay tuned to BNC for more top-of-the-hour news on Free TV, Channel 31, and also on our website, bnc.ph. Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.